Hello. Right. Okay. So I'm getting myself comfortable with a new go live system, which is absolutely brilliant. It's been flawless every time I've tried it in my setup, but clearly I've done something different tonight. So I've just gone over to the old system for the time being, which, whilst not ideal, gets me to where I need to be without much faffing about. But yeah, so let's start that again, shall we? So, oh my God. I've had a big year, and both good and bad. And I think it's been really interesting to sort of be on this journey with a very clear and sort of a very different purpose to the one I was on last year. So for those of you who don't know, I've been all year I've been involved with a mastermind, and what I mean by that is that I've had a group of people that I've been working with and working alongside, and we've all been supporting each other, and it's all been brought together by Lisa Johnson, who some of you will know, some of you won't. But the purpose of that mastermind has been to really get my business growing in a way that I want it to. You know, I've got big ambitions for it, and I've looked at joining masterminds in the past before, and I've always been a little bit suspicious of them, I guess. I hadn't really kind of figured out what they were and how they could help. And so this time last year, I was having I'd already had sort of conversations with Lisa about joining the mastermind. It was a big investment, a big investment for me at the time. And to be honest, a big investment for anybody, really. But I knew that I had to take that step in order to do a whole bunch of work that was going to move me forward. And it is some of the best money I've ever spent. I have worked with other business coaches, and Lisa wasn't a business coach. She's I think of her as an instructor. No, Andy, I am back on StreamYard now, but only because I'm so. Just to be clear about this, I know what I'm doing wrong on the other system, but I haven't got time to fix it. So I've just nipped back onto StreamYard very briefly, but I will be using Melon going forward because it's just as good, to be honest. I'm not as familiar with the new software that I moved over to as I'd like to be. So I thought that rather than delay my live any longer, that I would just go back onto a system I knew. So don't worry, I am committed to the other system. But it's just this one was a little bit easier to get back onto live. So yeah, so this the cocktail is amazing. This cocktail is fabulous. It is just, I've got a warm glow going on. I'm going to have a little bit more nutmeg grated on top. It's very festive and a definite improvement on last week's horror, because that was bad. Last week's cocktail was not a good one. Cheers. Just the pint then. Yeah, yes. Yeah, well, yeah, it is. There was quite a lot of it, but it's eggnog, you know. It feels like you're just drinking a glass of milk. Yeah, so I did this mastermind, and it's completely changed things for me. And it's been so good that we had an opportunity to sign up for it again, and I thought about it. I thought, yeah, I feel like I'm halfway where I need to be. So I signed up for another year, which is really exciting. So I'm getting ready to go into year 2 of Destination Inspiration, which is Lisa's mastermind. There are some amazing people in there, really, some familiar faces from last year, but also a whole new gang of people that we're obviously getting to know, got the trip out to there's the sort of the work trip out to LA to look forward to next year, which is quite exciting. So I've got that coming up. But this last year has been, so I launched my first course, Video Academy, twice, and I think I now understand. I'm really enjoying delivering it, and there's a super bunch of people who I'm working with. It's a really small cohort, but for me that's great because I'm able to work out with people, help people on their video journey, but at the same time I'm able to look at it and work out what, if anything, needs to change, and I'm sort of been making notes as I go along. Actually, the one thing that I think has come out of it is that there's been a lot of realization of where the points of over delivery are, which has been interesting to look at. So I've had the excitement of a launch. So the first half of 2021 was kind of all about getting ready to launch. So thank you, Andy. It's been a pleasure having you on board. Andy is the exemplar of, he's just got completely stuck in on the course, and is really, I think your video game is significantly upped, and you are sort of just standing on the cusp of going really hell for leather with it, sort of with your live show. But I've been asked by a couple of people if I would run a smaller course just about live content. So I'm going to do in February, and it's sort of, so all the Video Academy people who are already in VA are going to be automatically put into this anyway. But we're going to do a Video Academy live, as in we are going to spend 4 weeks looking at purely live video. How do you use live video as an effective tool to grow your business? Now, I know for a lot of people who are doing kind of one-to-many, Lisa's course one-to-many, there's a lot of questions around live video that sort of I keep on answering. I keep on sort of having the same conversations. I'm thinking, well, if there's people wanting, so this is going to be a very, very focused blast all around live. So the tech setup, how you structure your lives, how you content plan for your lives, just all around live video, with a view to getting you up and running with lives as quick as possible. And that's going to be, I'm going to put that out for a sort of so yeah, you've lost your, I mean, what you can't see is the huge pile of Christmas crap that's just off camera there. There's kind of a, here there's a lot of, I went and did all the enormous Christmas shops. We had a minor panic, and in as much we thought my wife had COVID, which thankfully she doesn't. So that was a little bit of a pre-Christmas scare. Who else have we got? Who else is here? It's not just Andy. I can see people. I can see all sorts of people checking in. So Andy, that's going to be the course. I haven't got any more details. It's going to be just looking at live video. It's going to be 300 quid probably, and it's going to be a really focused blast just on live video. Now it's not going to be in the same, it's not going to go in. So Video Academy is comprehensive, and there's live events, there's all sorts of stuff associated with it, but this will just be focusing on live content, so live video content. So that's going to be, in the new year. So maybe we haven't got firm dates for it yet, because we're just trying to work out when it happens. But yeah, if you're a Video Academy member from this cohort or the one before last, you'll be put straight into it anyway, just as a way for me to say thank you for being early adopters, as it were. But no, so so we launched Video Academy, which was great, and learnt an awful lot actually about how to deliver a course like that, because it's one thing to sort of put it together and kind of in theory have it, and then once you've launched, you actually have to deliver it. And what I realized is that it's very easy to load too much into these courses, because you think it's kind of, in some ways it definitely feels like more is a bit less. You don't want to overwhelm people, but at the same time the instinct is to give lots of value. And I think we've now found the right level to get people through the process, giving them the skills they need and want without completely overwhelming. So that's been a fascinating journey. I've also had kind of a lot more one-to-one client work, which I really wasn't expecting. I might just share a few videos and talk through a few videos that I've created. So the first one was with I'll go to the archive. So it was actually for a client called Lee Howes, and we no, not film versions, final files. So we're going to just so this is a film that I made with Lee, and gosh, it seems like a million years ago.
Do you ever feel like you're on your own in your business?
This is
Wish that you had
all about
some like-minded people around you as a sounding board,
retreat,
somebody that you could speak to when things get tough.
It's been
Share your
so
wins.
good to work with.
Seek some creativity around those ideas that are whirling around your head.
Vision of what she wants to
a
achieve
mastermind
with her content,
in its
but also,
truest sense
she's got
is an
works with such
opportunity
a lovely
of
bunch of
collective
people,
minds to come together.
The
where you lift each other,
kind of
lean in,
the
have a sounding
experience
board.
of kind of
Magic happens when you get together
filming
with great
at this
people
beautiful
in a great
location
place.
in the countryside near Ipswich was fabulous, because
a mastermind per se should be, but I know that
over the years I've filmed on many different locations, some of which are more beautiful than others, and this is a great example of a beautiful location and a really great client. But I was only there for a day, so I was there for a day filming interviews, filming the mastermind day unfold, and really just taking some time to get to know the people there, get to know what their goals and ambitions were, and just I was very fortunate. I was filming there, and then they asked me to stick around for a bite to eat in the evening, which was lovely because I wasn't really expecting that at all. But it also made for some fantastic footage at the end. Now you can imagine that the journey from Plymouth to Ipswich is quite a long one, and I decided to do it by train, which made it a little bit more civilized.
Unlock our own potential.
So, but getting from Ipswich to where the location was a fairly confusing taxi journey, because the poor cab driver sort of thought that I was directing him into the middle of nowhere. He was getting a little bit nervous. I was like, no, it's fine, just keep going down this lane and this lane and this lane. We got there in the end. But you can see, I mean, it was a beautiful summer's day. It was very warm and rather lovely. But on this rather miserable, cold, wet winter's day here in Plymouth, it's nice to look back to these kind of these kind of golden sunny days from the summer. So yeah, so that was one of the projects I was working on. Now another one, which was also lovely to work on, was with Lisa Johnson. So Lisa has been my mentor guide and sort of genius this year as the leader of the mastermind that I'm on, Destination Inspiration. She's been fantastic to learn from, but also I've been lucky enough to work with her as a client. So we went out to, I was out in Croatia, as you know, as some of you know, in what was it? God, it was back in October. What feels like a million years ago. And was doing a slightly more complicated shoot, in as much that I was out there as both a kind of somebody there to enjoy the kind of the coaching experience on location, this kind of beautiful retreat that I sort of paid for as part of DI, but I was also there to do a bit of filming for Lisa as a client. So you're sort of juggling one thing and doing that, but the final sort of the final output was very kind of I'm gonna
Johnson, and I'm the facilitator of Destination Inspiration. So people ask me all the time, what actually is a mastermind? Is it just a group program? It's not a group program. A mastermind is about more than that.
So
it's
these
about
are the
connection.
fabulous people
It's about having people around you that are in the same journey as you, that you can bounce ideas off. But it's not just a network either. In a mastermind, you work on the business of you. And when you're working on you, that has a knock-on effect to everything else, to your life, but also your business.
I think for me, it's having that opportunity to be in a room, whether that's virtually or actually in person, with these amazing inspirational business owners, and realize that I am one of them and I belong in this group. That's been really transformational for me.
For me, it's been a whole year of evolving, and the biggest thing for me is actually growing my own confidence and believing in myself. I'm just in the process about launching the Debbie Marks brand, and it's being able to bat either ideas off other people, get other people to buy into what you're doing. I think, you know what, actually what you are doing is a really good thing, and they're going to give you the confidence. And when you go out and launch something, you've got a whole community behind you.
A mastermind is also about the coming together of people. I don't believe that people refer work to each other or collaborate with each other because they're all sitting in a room looking at a speaker at the front. I think people collaborate with each other when they become friends. And where do you become friends? When you're on holiday, in a bar, in a pool, drinking a cocktail on a yacht. So all of these things are the kind of things that I put into Destination Inspiration so that we can have fun as well, because business should be fun. Business isn't complicated. People make it complicated unless you're around the right people.
Somebody watching
I think
outside,
connecting with fellow masterminders and other business owners who are on a similar trajectory in their businesses as yourself makes a huge difference to your...
Oh, sorry, Andy. I'm not saying anything of particular interest.
Well, I think it changes the way that you look at things.
Destination Inspiration is delivered over a year so that we can really get to know each other properly, with weekly meetings with all of us, with one-to-ones, with your own coach, with...
So yeah, really what I was saying is that it's been a pleasure to be involved in a project like that. I'm going to find you something a bit more kind of maybe a little less kind of glamorous. But this is I'm quite enjoying this. This year in review stuff is great. So another client that we work with is trying to think. Well, there's lots of people. I could obviously some of this is kind of, you know, whether I can share them or not. So River and Sea Sense, working with Debbie. So Debbie Turnbull is somebody who has a fantastic charity called, sort of an organisation called River and Sea Sense that helps families and young people with water safety. She really very tragically lost her own son to drowning her son drowned, and she has made it her mission to help kids, adults, families with water safety. And back in March and April, I was up in North Wales, back in Colwyn Bay actually. So my a place I know very, very well, back up in Colwyn Bay, with Debbie for a weekend, filming content for her for a course we put together. And I'm going to share some river and sea sense stuff with you. What's going to be good? I mean, I won't play that because it's quite can be quite hard. You know, it's a hard. So
ICE in case of.
So I won't play the sound on this because this is obviously content that Debbie puts out as part of a course. So I won't play it for very long, but you can sort of, you know, this is training content essentially. So this was helping her create course material for something that was going to be a product for her organization to share. And again, it was fascinating to work with somebody who knows their subject inside out and is driven by really, you know, incredible passion and care, and sort of, we've got some potentially some very exciting projects lined up for next year with Debbie. But yeah, that's it. Back in April. That feels like a very long time ago now. What else have we got? So I'll share a few more if this is interesting, but one more and then we'll talk about what's to come. I might have another eggnog. Whether it's advisable is another matter entirely. How about Flyform? Yeah, okay. So Flyform are a company in Cardiff. They're a tech company, and they are really, you know, fascinating organisation with really nice guys. There's about 50. It's an organisation of about 50 people. They are growing really, really fast, and what they do, I'm still not 100% sure. They implement a system called ServiceNow, which is a software platform, sort of a customer assistance software platform, I think. And they take their video communications very seriously, but they do a lot of it. So their content is much more sort of about immediate communication, and so I will share one of their videos. Flyform video file. Outputs, final files, square videos.
Cliche, but it is like a family here. You know, we work hard and we play hard. Everyone's kind of, every single person in the business is a good person, and that's what I say to everyone. Everyone's nice. Like, there's no single person I go and walk around and talk to that's just not a good person. And the ones that do come in and maybe aren't aligned in that way, they kind of exit themselves typically quickly. But what I'd say about the business as a whole is, you know, ultimately we're on a mission here to kind of change the world through the power of technology. We want to bring good to the world. We want to set the example of what the modern day business looks like. So, you know, if that's a mission that sounds like something that's going to give you fulfillment and something you align with, then come and join and have some fun. And if not, then don't. You know, we want people here that really want to get more than just being a paycheck and a job. because that's what we feel brings that kind of spirit to everyone. So yeah, if that sounds like fun to people, then jump in.
Growing business hasn't been easy. It never is for any organisation, particularly going through COVID, financial pressures and strains. So, the approach that Theo and Aaron took then and still continue to take is just be brutally honest. So you'll know that we have an all-team meeting on Friday for an hour, 11 o'clock in the morning. Everyone, regardless of what they're doing, jump on this team Zoom call, and we hit them with the updates, the celebrations, the news. And if there's any sticky news from that week, it gets out and discussed in that, people can ask questions and they get straight answers there and then. How are we performing? How's the pipeline? What's recruitment like? What happened here? What's going on? What about this escalation and things like that? Everything's transparent, and that cements that culture and atmosphere and helps people know it's a safe environment to push and continue to challenge yourself without worrying about, making a mistake.
Officially, honesty, integrity is one of the key values, but I think that resonates with me the most. I think it's really important, either when you make a mistake or when something's not right, and you kind of just need to call stuff out. There's obviously a right and a wrong way to do those things, but for the most part, it's being authentic and being yourself. I think they kind of promote that as people being themselves, and also the company kind of welcome that on them as well. So Phil and Aaron always say what's the feedback? They don't want to hear the pre-prepared HR answer. They want to hear what you actually think, and I think that's really important, and I quite like that.
So that's, for me, is kind of, that's a trio of little projects that I really enjoyed, because the thing that links them all together is the pleasure of working with the people involved. Everybody involved there, they're all good people. In fact, there's nobody that I'm working with who I don't think is good people, because that we sort of, the way the business is set up now, if there does tend to be a certain amount of self-selection that happens. Generally speaking, the people that I end up working with, are people that I've already developed a decent sort of professional relationship with, as it were, in as much that we've spoken, we've kind of developed the relationship before it's kind of progressed to the next level, as it were. So yeah, there's been some great things, really great projects, and I guess all I want to say is a big thank you to everyone who's taken the decision to bring me on board as their video person, whether it's me creating video content for them or them coming to me and saying, I want you to make some films for me. It's always a privilege and a pleasure, but this year has felt particularly special because it's been all about the move forward, and it's been very exciting. It's been very exciting to have these things come my way. It's I won't lie, there's been hard years that I've been through with this business, and 20 years of being in business one way or another renders up some pretty varying experiences. And I can honestly say that this last year, 2021, has been great, not without its difficulties, as the sort of current environment would suggest, but it has been positive and it has been fun, and I've worked with people I like, doing projects that I'm passionate about, and really I can't say any more than that. I'm always learning, I'm always moving forward, but I feel like this year it's all sort of come together. So thank you to everybody. Thank you. I raise my glass to you. Cheers. I'm going to wind things up now, I think. But I will be back with Content and Cocktails in the new year with a new look, a new fresh look. And I will be excited to see you all. And I will have there's going to be a couple of things. We're going to be doing the sort of sprint, the subtitling sprint. So in January, we're going to be taking a week to look in a really intense way in the free group, to take an intense look at subtitling. And that's going to be something for me to share with you as a group. There's no, you know, there's no sort of particular sell at the end of it. It is what it is. You know, you can get stuck in or not. That's your choice. But if you want to learn some useful, practical video skills, that is what that week is all about. And then I'll also be putting out there the sort of Video Academy live video bootcamp offer. So that is going to be 4 weeks of 4 weeks of weekly training, all around live video content creation and planning. And that's going to be running. We haven't completely solidified our dates, but it's looking very much like it is going to be a February thing. So got that to look forward to. And then obviously we've got the other things like the retreats coming up, and then Video Academy, which we're going to be doing once a year. So Video Academy, the big Video Academy, will be once a year, and that will be launching in May or June. We haven't finally decided on the date yet, but it's more likely to be end of May. So yeah, just once a year, because it's quite a big chunk of work, and I realize that doing it twice is not sensible. So yeah, that's it. Lots of exciting stuff coming up. But yeah, have a really good Christmas. Have a fabulous Christmas. Thank you for being here this year on the journey with me. And if we're working together, thank you for bringing me into your worlds and giving me the opportunity to work with you. It's an honor and a privilege. So yeah, thank you. Have a fabulous Christmas, and I will see you on the other side. Take care. Bye-bye.